Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Live, where Nigeria wakes up to the stories shaping power, policy, and the people. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako, and as always, we begin with the political current setting the tone for the day.
And I am Samson Balogun. This morning, the battle lines in Nigeria's political landscape appears to be sharpening. The opposition PDP is accusing the National Assembly of betraying Nigerians over the Electoral Act, a change that raises fresh questions about the integrity of our democracy and the rules guiding our elections.
And as the dust of the 2023 political cycle settles, attention is already turning toward 2027. The APC's early mobilization drive is gaining momentum nationwide, but is it a strategic masterstroke of political organization or a sign of rising anxiety within the ruling party?
All right, today on Daybreak Live, we unpack the politics behind the headlines, the strategy behind the statements, and what it all means for Nigeria's democratic future.
Coming up, the Weather Outlook and a comprehensive news update, followed by newspaper analysis with public affairs analyst Honorable Omolaja Olaoye.
And later, our big story conversation on the 2027 power chairs with APC aspirant Honorable Faisal Oluwakemi.
Nigeria is waking up, and so are the politics.
Stay with us. This is Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, a channel of choice. Let's get right into it this morning.
Definitely. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Yemi. And it's a bright new morning. Quite chilly out there, but then with a cup of coffee, you are good to go.
Definitely.
But then, as for Nigeria's ever-changing landscape when it comes to politics, I think a cup of coffee might not actually do that.
No, it won't.
It's actual conversation that will set the tone for what is to happen.
Definitely.
And that's talking about the People's Democratic Party releasing a statement and saying, look, you are anti-people, especially with the new Electoral Act. And they're saying, look, this is not the will of the people. But the question is, did the PDP study the new Electoral Act from cover to cover to see what exactly is wrong? I'm of the opinion that in most cases, when you see the problem, provide the solution. It's not really about attacking the bodies who have actually done this. It's about you saying, look, we could have done it better. And people out there will really understand the fact that you have a point when you talk. It's not about accusation.
Yeah, you have a very good point. And then apart from even the PDP, I think quite a number of other persons, members of the ADC and even Nigerians themselves, they are complaining bitterly about this whole Electoral Act, the new Electoral Act. I think initially, the former electoral commissioner of INEC, that's Mike Igini, he came out before the president actually signed the Electoral Act to say that the president should not sign it, because according to him, the president is a man of history, elder statesman. Of course, you understand that the people are not satisfied with this new Electoral Act. And then one more thing is, I think ideally, before the president, because the president signed this Electoral Act before 24 hours, within that 24 hours frame, ideally the president has about 30 days window to look at this, and not just the president alone. The Attorney General should look at the document, about 120 pages or more. Should look at the document, peruse it, review it, and things like that. And also, the Minister of Finance should also have a look at it. Can we actually fund this? What these bodies have decided on? Can we fund it?
What they are requesting for.
And what they are requesting for. Do we have the capacity to actually meet up to their demands? And then I think another body that should look at it is INEC themselves. I mean, those that are in charge should look at the document to say, okay, fine, at the end of the day, all these that have been passed,
do we have the capacity to get this done?
Can we actually follow it? Is this something that we can do? And then these are the people that should look at the document before the president should actually sign. But then, to the greatest surprise of so many Nigerians, the president signed this under 24 hours. So some are saying it is too fast, and why should the president sign it? And then just looking at what the PDP is saying, at the end of the day, it will take people that can actually look at the document, from the first page to the last page. Don't forget, one of the issues that caused problem, in the House, speaking about the House of Representatives, that was because, they were taking the clauses 10 at a time. And then some of the lawmakers were complaining, why should you take 10 clauses at a time? Can we not take
from
it
clause 1 to clause 10, say aye.
Really?
And what they say really doesn't matter. It was busy, snapping the gavel against. It was just moving on.
It moved on in a country that is democratic, maybe on paper alone, I don't know, but then it's a problem. So these are the issues now. INEC didn't have the chance. We don't know whether INEC had the chance to look at the document. We don't know whether the Minister of Finance had the chance to look at the document. Another problem that some experts have been able to reel out is the fact that should the election result be taken to court at the end of the day, we are not planning for that and we are not praying for that. And then now that the electronic transmission is with the manual transmission, should the election result be taken to court, which takes the hierarchy in court? If electronic transmission fails in some certain areas, which takes the hierarchy. So it is a problem on its own, but at the end of the day, according to Akpabio, that's the Senate president, he said whatever it is that they did, is in favor of majority of Nigerians. And then the minority who are complaining, they are politically motivated and they are just trying to cause trouble. That was what he said. But a lot of Nigerians are not agreeing with that statement to say that, okay, how will you say that a minority are those who are not satisfied with this? Because we saw the protest. And of course, people are still talking about the fact that, these people, they were tear gas and things like that. So at the end of the day, some Nigerians are now sitting. You need to check online to feel the pulse of the people. What is the essence of the protest? At the end of the day, they still went ahead with whatever it is that they wanted to do. It is a problem, really.
You see, people are beginning to, I think Gospel Akpabio, the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is becoming gradually unpopular amongst the people. And that for me, is not good enough for his image, especially, you see, most of the times, you are just a tool in the hands of people who want you to get some things done. And it was really saddening to witness and, of course, see that video yesterday where the bill was to be passed and then clauses were being taken one after the other. And it was not just one. It was 10 clauses at the same time. I mean, how do you account for these clauses? I mean, how do you tell the people that you have actually gone through them? To me, it doesn't even seem like the House of Assembly read anything in that document. It was more or less like you have an assignment, make sure that it scales through the floor of the House, and then the president will sign as soon as possible.
Similar to take a bow and go. That happened during the screening of the ambassadors.
Right. And the question now is Nigeria on a free fall? Are we seeing a situation where someone will just come and say, this is what we want to do, whether you like it? Because what we saw from them was, whether you like it or not, this is what we are doing, and if you like protest from now till tomorrow, nobody really cares about your protest. I mean, if it comes to the worst, then we'll disperse you, whichever means we have to. And in a democratic setting, there are processes, there are things to be done. You rightly mentioned something about a document of that magnitude was signed under 24 hours by the president. Doesn't mean that he had the time, the whole 24 hours. I mean, that could be, let's say, about 12 hours of his time to read from cover to cover and say, look, I'm satisfied with what is here. Did the Attorney General of the Federation, did he have the time to read from cover to cover to see where there might be likely issues, especially when it comes to legal lacuna that might eventually come up, especially after the election? That is another thing. You rightly mentioned the Ministry of Finance. Did they check everything INEC requested for, especially when it comes to finance? That, we are sure that we can provide this. But I'm not surprised if an administration can come and say, look, any debt the NNPC is owing the federal government, we have written it off. The first question that should come on board is, where was the money in the first place? It looks to me like we have too much money, and the problem is how to spend it. So we are quite cool with throwing it away. And we can, just recently, I think a pressure group came on board and said, look, there was a particular amount of money that was earmarked for INEC so year. Come and explain how this money was spent. Till today, nobody has said anything about that. So we can continue and complain about what is going on in the country. But the most important thing is we are leaving a particular clause out. And this is one of the most important things, which is accountability. Everyone has to be accountable. The president, for me, on this one, is not clean. He has to come out and tell us why he had to sign that under 24 hours, because that's not the only bill that was sent to him. There are several other bills that has been on his table that some of them have not been signed till now. So where did you get it wrong that the president had to sign in less than 24 hours?
It's really very sad, actually, because even in the business world, creative world, if you are working with some partners and they give you maybe a document, let's say
a proposal, for example.
Proposal. Let's just say maybe 10 pages, not even 120. Before you sign that document, because you know it has a lot to do with your life, your destiny, your money, your resources. Before you sign that document, you should take your time to go through it, peruse it. If you are not so knowledgeable about it, get people, get lawyers to help you interpret before you sign. But then, is it that some managers are asking, is it that the president, got familiar with the document before now?
Probably. Sometimes you see members of House of Assembly or maybe a senator, taking a bill to the floor of the House and say, I have a proposition. Let's do I mean, someone just came out and said he wants 12 years single term for presidency for the sake of continuity. I mean, that for me looks absurd. Are you taking us back to where Nigerians already left? That for me is still something we are going to discuss on this show. But most importantly, we have gotten to that stage where Nigerians have woken up. They now understand what is going on around them, and everyone has to be on their toes. I must respect for some people who have actually come out to openly say someone somewhere is trying to push Nigeria to a stage where, I mean, it's just going to be a single party. But truly, it's more or less looking at it like it, because most governors now in Nigeria now, they are moving to the APC. And we are not even sure that before 2027, some of them are not even going to move. We are seeing the permutation and combination. And it's not even clear if some who are already in the APC will not leave. So
look at the opposition parties. They are battling with internal rankings. They don't even have time to maybe say they want to mobilize. They don't have time.
Some even said it was a deliberate attempt. I mean, when you are a strategist, you know exactly what to do. And the president said something which I hold there, it's still in my left palm recently.
They're in disarray, I remember.
I am happy they are in disarray. So that tells you how much of an effort is going on to make sure that, other parties, they are not in the right place. And it's obvious, the PDP having their own issues, especially when you look at Imakinde of Oyo State, the executive governor of Oyo State, and Nyesom Wike, on the other hand, of the minister of the FCT, they are loggerheads battling for the soul of the party. That I am sure might not really end before 2027. And even if it does, the time frame for them to prepare for an election is too short. And for the ADC, we still have some people in that party who I am quite sure will not step down for another. Rotimi Amechi wants to be president. Atiku Abubakar wants to be president. Peter Obi is there. And Atiku is insisting that there's no consensus. We are going to the primaries. And Atiku has never lost a primary election. That tells you how difficult it is for Peter Obi to clinch a ticket in that party. And the moment he doesn't get a ticket, just like he does, he might likely move to another political party within the short time frame to see if he can actually, be the flag bearer of that political party. Okay. But will he favor him? That's another question.
Okay, on that, let me quickly mention this, because when I was reading the new Electoral Act, there's a new caveat that says that, initially, delegate to vote, during the primaries. But now, looking at the new Electoral Act, each party member has the right to vote in the primary. So it's going to be a little bit tough now that it's no longer about the delegate alone. So good luck. And then just to conclude,
don't forget the financial war chest. Atiku Abubakar is rich. Exactly. And he has the wherewithal to get that done.
I read an headline this morning and then the president is saying, if I have sinned, forgive me. I need someone to interpret that.
Well, maybe with time, Daniel Bwala and so many other people who are actually in charge of the media for the president will come out to say exactly what the president.
Oh, my analyst this morning.
Definitely. All right, that's the convenient point to take this particular one to weather report this morning, and will help you navigate through weather across the country today. And we'll be starting with the ancient city of Ibadan. What does the weather look like in the city of Ibadan today? And that is Ibadan Southwest in Oyo State. Weather currently feels like 24 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning it will rise by 5 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius, and partly cloudy at 2% right here in Ibadan. and in the afternoon it will rise further to 35 degrees Celsius with a promise of isolated thunderstorms, and humidity is expected to be around 33 degrees Celsius. It will drop to 28 degrees Celsius in the evening, partly cloudy at 4%, and overnight it will drop further to 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, right here in Ibadan today.
Okay, let's take it to Lagos this morning with a feels like 32 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning is expected to drop to 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, around 5%. And in the afternoon, we have 32 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 19%. In the evening, we have 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, around 5%. And overnight, we have 26 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. That's what we have for Lagos this morning.
Right away from the center of excellence, we move to River State, Port Harcourt, still in the south, but in the south this morning. And weather in Port Harcourt currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius. Later in the morning, it will rise by 5 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius, while being mostly cloudy, humidity at 1%. And in the afternoon, it will rise further to 31 degrees Celsius and partly cloudy at 6%. It would be a sharp drop to 24 degrees Celsius in the evening. The weather will be clear at 6%. And overnight, there will be a further drop to 21 degrees Celsius. And it will be partly cloudy right there in Port Harcourt, River State today.
Okay, let's cross over to FCT Abuja this morning, where the feels like 23 degrees Celsius. Later in the morning is expected to rise to 30 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny, around 0%. In the afternoon, there's a sharp rise to 36 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, around 0% as well. In the evening, it drops to 28 degrees Celsius, clear, around 0%, and overnight it drops further to 23 degrees Celsius, and that's what we have for FCT this morning.
All right, moving on to the largest state in Nigeria, and that is Niger State, Suleja to be precise. Weather in Suleja as we speak currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius, but there will be a sharp rise by 8 degrees Celsius to 31 degrees Celsius later in the morning, while it will be sunny at humidity at 0%. And it will rise further to 36 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. It will be partly cloudy, also at 0%. The weather will be clear in the evening, 28 degrees Celsius, humidity at 0%, while it will drop to 23 degrees Celsius overnight, while the weather will be mostly cloudy.
Okay, let's cross over to Calabar Municipal Cross River, where the feels like 23 degrees Celsius, and later is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, around 2%. And of course, in the afternoon, we have 33 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, around 0%. In the evening, it drops to 26 degrees Celsius, clear, around 7%. And overnight, we have 23 degrees Celsius, and that's what we have for Calabar this morning.
All right, moving on to Kano. This morning, weather in Kano currently feels like 16 degrees Celsius. And later in the morning, it will rise to 24 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy at 0%. In the afternoon, it will rise further to 31 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, also at 0%. It will drop to 27 degrees Celsius in the evening. Weather will be clear, and overnight, it will be partly cloudy, and it returns to what it was in the morning at 16 degrees Celsius right there in Kano today.
Okay, let's take a look at Sokoto North, where the feels like 18 degrees Celsius, and later is expected to be around 25 degrees Celsius. Still in the morning, sunny, around 0%. In the afternoon, 34 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, around 0%. And in the evening, 25 degrees Celsius, clear, around 0%. And overnight, 19 degrees Celsius, clear. And that's what we have for Sokoto North this morning. All
right, I think that's all we're going to take our weather reports this morning. So thank you for joining us on the show so far. Do also link up with us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, Monday, Twitter at Dominion Cast. It is time to go on a short break. When we return, we take the news. We'll be back.
Hello and welcome. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. The Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerians and Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Arewa, has announced plans to deploy Nigerian medical professionals in the diaspora to states across the country this year to strengthen healthcare delivery. Speaking to journalists in Abuja, Dabiri Arewa unveiled the Diaspora Health Impact Initiative 2026. She said the program will bring diaspora-based doctors and medical specialists to different geopolitical zones to carry out medical interventions and provide professional training for local health workers. Dabiri Arewa noted that while Nigeria receives over $20 billion annually in diaspora remittances, the technical expertise of Nigerian medical professionals abroad remains largely untapped. She added that the initiative is aimed at harnessing this expertise to strengthen local health systems and support national development. The wife of Oyo State Governor Tamanameni Makinde has condemned the practice of female genital mutilation, describing it as inhuman, dangerous and a violation of the rights of the girl child. She made the call at the 2026 International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation held in Ibadan, where she urged stakeholders to work towards the total eradication of the practice before 2030. Represented by the wife of the Deputy Governor, Chief Mrs. Ajibike Lawal, the First Lady warned that no cultural belief justifies harming the child, adding that offenders will be punished in line with the law. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Justice, Olubumiare, reiterated that FGM is a criminal offense. Meanwhile, traditional circumcisers in the state have expressed readiness to abandon the practice as stakeholders reaffirm commitment to ending female genital mutilation in Oyo State before 2030. The resident electoral commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Oyo State has revealed that over 500,000 permanent voter cards remain uncollected across the state. The reg made this known while assessing voter turnout for PVC collection and ongoing registration exercises. During an interview with Dominion News, our correspondent Damilola Daudu reports.
As political activities gradually gathered momentum ahead of the 2027 general election, the need for eligible citizens to register and collect their permanent voters card has once again come to the forefront. The continuous voters registration exercise remains a critical process in strengthening Nigerians' democracy, as it provides an opportunity for new voters to register and for others to update or replace lost and damaged cards. Against this backdrop, the resident electoral commissioner Oyo State, Professor Tella Adeniran, while speaking on Dominion News, said the commission is intensifying preparation for the 2027 election while addressing the turnout of voters for PVC collection and registration in Oyo State.
People have been coming out in mass, getting themselves registered, and in our own end, the commission remains firmly committed by expanding democracy inclusions, ensuring that eligible Nigerians having the opportunity to get themselves registered once again, to update their registration status for those who lost their cards, those who have their cards damaged.
On the preparation for 2027 election, Professor Tella said INEC has maintained robust engagement with political parties in the state, holding regular meetings with security agencies, staff training, collaboration with press, and the National Youth Service Corps remain part of the preparation to ensure a smooth electoral process.
And part of the level of preparation is the IPAC, which is Inter-Party Advisory, that they are having their meetings in our coalition center as I speak to you right now. So, and more importantly, when election is even coming around like this, we always have a meeting with our ICES, which is Inter-Committee on Election Security. So, and we do that on a constant basis.
He advised residents of Oyo State to sustain the momentum in voters registration and PVC collection, emphasizing that the power to choose leaders in the next 4 years lies with the electorate. Damilola Daudu reporting for Dominion News.
Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has congratulated Muslims and Christians in Oyo State and across Nigeria as the 2026 Ramadan and Lent seasons commence. The governor urged adherents of both faiths to use the fasting period to deepen their commitment to God, promote love, unity, and religious harmony, and positively impact humanity. Governor Makinde noted that the coincidence of the two holy seasons is a reminder of shared values and peaceful coexistence, adding that Oyo State remains a model of interfaith harmony. He commended Muslims and Christians in the state for their continued support and cooperation in advancing development since 2019. He further encouraged prayers for the peace, progress, and prosperity of Oyo State and Nigeria, as well as for leaders at all levels. As Christians and Muslims around the world begin their respective fasting seasons, both Lent and Ramadan carry deep spiritual and communal significance. While the rituals in Tami Diva, the core themes of reflection, sacrifice, and spiritual growth are central to both observances. Taiwo Lariwaju completes the report.
As Christians and Muslims around the world begin their respective fasting seasons, the spiritual and communal importance of these observances shines through. While Lent in Christianity and Ramadan in Islam have different rituals, practices, and timing, both periods hold deep significance centered around reflection, sacrifice, and spiritual growth. For Muslims, Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar and is regarded as the holiest time of the year. For Christians, Lent is a period of 40 days leading up to Easter Sunday, commemorating the 40 days that Jesus Christ spent fasting and praying in the wilderness. The chairman of Dominion Brokers Group, Bishop Felix Owolabi, and Vice Chairman, Lady Bishop-elect Temitayo Owolabi, spoke about the importance of the Lenten season, calling Christians to a deeper reflection of their lives
through 40 days, fasting and prayer. Another thing was that the way they are doing it towards the Easter time, that is a resurrection. But the truth is this: Lent or fast, when you are fasting, can I tell you, Christ is not the head of the Christianity. Christ is the head of all. So Lent now, what it is for Lent is to shape my character. What God gives unto us is Himself. His character, His person. Be like me. God cannot use the whole of you. Christ said, follow me. God is creator. Christ is a maker.
A Muslim cleric, Ibrahim Muhammad Ali Amin, said Ramadan is not just about refraining from food, but also about purifying the soul and growing closer to Allah.
Feelings of some people who are not sufficient enough pertaining to weight or something like that, or their daily feeling, to note important that by that some people will have the impact in their self to be able to give thanks to Almighty Allah and to be able to make sure that they give assistance to those who are less people in the society.
As Christians and Muslims around the world observe their fasting seasons, they are reminded of the universal importance of sacrifice, self-discipline, and spiritual growth. Taiwo Lariwaju, reporting for Dominion News.
In business, President of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has predicted that the Naira could strengthen to 1,100 Naira to the dollar before the end of the year. Dangote made the projection in Abuja during the launch of Nigeria's industrial policy, an event attended by Vice President Kashim Shettima and other dignitaries. He attributed the expected appreciation to ongoing government reforms, an effort to curb importation, noting that a stronger currency would reduce the cost of goods and the import-dependent economy. Dangote, however, called for stronger protection for local investors through improved incentives and infrastructure, particularly stable power supply, to drive industrialization and job creation. And in sports, Nigeria's Falconet will resume campaign in April ahead of a final qualifying round fixture for the 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup against Malawi. Coach Moses Aduku's side booked a place in the round after defeating Senegal 3-1 in aggregate, while Malawi advanced with a 6-2 aggregate victory over Guinea-Bissau. According to reports, the Falconet will begin preparations in the first week of April. The first leg of the tie will be played in Nigeria between May 1st and 3rd, with the return leg scheduled for Blantyre between May 8 and 10, 2026. The winner on aggregate will qualify for the tournament in Poland. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and X at Dominion Cast. That's Daybreak News. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako saying thank you for watching and good morning. Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. This is Newspaper Headlines and Analysis. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako. I'm not alone in the studio. I have with me this morning Honorable Omolaja Olaoye, a commentator on national issues. Welcome on board this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yemi.
Yes, let's start with the Punch newspaper. I have the banner headline that says Electoral Act 2026, Tinubu defends assent. Opposition raises hell. PDP, Labour Party raise red flags. Tinubu defies protests as APC predict credible poll. And of course, the presidency alongside the president have said that, okay, I'm signing these in less than 24 hours because that's what's best for the country. He also said no matter how good any document is, it is still the people that will interpret the document. But then the opposition parties, even Nigerians themselves, they are not happy, with the president signing this electoral act, in less than 24 hours. And of course, the protest happened. Most Nigerians are saying, what now is the essence of the protest now that, the Senate, still passed, that which the Nigerian people do not want?
It depends on what you want to say about the Nigerians, because to me, I'm a Nigerian as well. You are a Nigerian as well. Those people who passed the bill are Nigerians. It depends. But the elite are always complaining when it comes to some issues. the way I look at it, the Electoral Act of 2026 is different from 2022. And for these, we have seen what happened even in 2018-19 when President Muhammadu Buhari was saying that the Electoral Act being passed, it's not going to be used for 2019 election because it was too late for them to be able to use it if they have, unless there was a clause that was there that only if they are not going to be able to use that one. But for this, and we have seen that they have changed the election cycle. Next year, by February, is when we are going to have another election. And now, I think they have reduced it from a notification of 360 to 300 days. So we have to do it in a jiffy if we want to really change these dynamics when it comes to our electoral process. So I believe what President Tinubu did is right, and that is the way it should be.
You don't think, he should allow, because he has like a 30 days window to peruse the document, about 120 pages, the Minister of Finance should go through it, Attorney General should go, even INEC should go through it before signing, because these are the people that will be, that will follow the document, everything that is written in there to ensure that they can actually meet up to the demands of Nigerians.
The Attorney General must have seen it. This is not the clause that they are arguing about. It's about e-transmission. They have not even talked about the best one that is there. We are talking about consensus or direct primary. That is what is going to be the innovation and the new thing to this electoral act we are talking about. Because before, the indirect election primary it allowed for manipulation. Now, for that direct, that is the best we have. We must have it. Opposition would even be able to even woo all the voters in their different district or in their different ward or in their different polling unit. It is not going to be some people sitting in Abuja or Lagos State trying to use media to show off their image. They must be able to visit, and they must have people in every polling unit. We saw what happened in the last election. When you are talking about Labour Party that cannot even have a coverage of 60% of the election, that shows on seriousness. When you are talking about a place like United States of America, it is direct primary that they are using for their electoral processes. So I will tell you that the electoral side is a good thing for Nigeria. It is not the way we have before, where we are going to have manipulated election with incident form or this and that has been happening for a very long time. Until last election, which is 2022, and they never accepted it. And we saw what happened then.
Okay, so away from that, but still connected to that story, the president said something yesterday. I watched a video, there was a Ramadan lecture at the State House Mosque in Abuja yesterday, and that the president said, if I have sinned, forgive me. How would you interpret that statement? Because Nigerians are asking, why is that statement coming, at a time when Nigerians are complaining bitterly about this new electoral act?
It is way of observing oneself. When we go to church, we pray for sin. We pray for abolition of sin. The Catholic are going to go and see the Reverend Father and tell them whatever they have done wrong or not. The Nigeria, I believe, not all his policy, it is in line with Nigerian people, when you like it or not. What you see is different from what others see as well. And I'm telling you, this reform we are seeing in Nigeria is about the masses. It is masses oriented kind of what's it called of policies that is going to be better for the masses. But there are some big elements that are going to be wrong, whether they like it or not. They might not be happy. We can see let's talk about that, Dangote. Let's talk about those oil gurus that have been, they have been siphoning, they have been draining Nigeria when you are talking about resources. They might not like it. Some of them might be his friend. And he has to beg for forgiveness the way everything look at the thing he has done.
Okay, let's cross over to the Nation newspaper. I have a headline that says DSS arrest El-Rufai after release by EFCC. Immediately, EFCC released him yesterday. The the what's it called now, the DRSS arrested him again and said, okay, we need to dialogue with him, we need to ask him questions. What do you make of this? At the end of the day, some are still linking this to political witch hunting. They are not saying the fact that RFI went on national TV to say quite a number of things, that can be damning. He said he listened to the phone conversation of the NSA of this country. What do you make of this?
Thank you. For any sane person, what RFI did should be condemned. We are talking about insecurity. RFI has been talking about insecurity all his life. Whenever I want to talk about when he was cardinal, he has done a lot of religious manipulation, religion fighting. He has caused a lot of dissatisfaction within those people who are in Kaduna, where he reside and where he govern as a governor. Now, when we are talking about, we always like to associate everything with political hunting. What he did, it's not allowed in any sane society. It is now a law that a recorded speech of even anybody cannot be transmitted, cannot be posted on Facebook or any other place. It's illegal. It's a criminal offense. And for you to say that you are now tapping somebody else's NSA phone, it is wrong. It's criminal. I've seen a lot of time when developed world, when you are talking about the top world of the world, like US, like China, are always trying, and UK, they are always defending their integrity and their secrecy when you are talking about all this, when you are talking about all this. For everybody to have gone on here, saying that it's criminal on his own, and he must be able to tell us why is it the best thing for him to do.
Okay, Honorable, now, some are arguing, even politicians of other opposition parties, they are saying RFI is just trying to play mind games, that he didn't listen to the conversation, and of course, this whole questioning might not hold any water at the end of the day.
Yemi, he must be punished. Lie, even lie. When you go to the law court, if you get to the law court, he might say he's playing the mind game. He should be able to tell the court of law that he's playing the mind game. And when you are saying about it, what are we calling libel? Is what you say. When you are talking about freedom of speech, it's not total. We have seen there was a situation that we had US is tampering some of the top-notch or probably the politician conversation. There was dispute between UK and US about tampering of this conversation between the president and prime minister or whoever, and all of them deny it. We have seen this man, what's his name, that is revealing a lot of secret. He has revealed a lot of secret about CIA that UK is not protecting that as an American. It's protecting him. And the US are denying whatever he has said. That's the way it should be. It is not, even if they revive tamper NSA phone, he doesn't need to come on here and tell people. It is not about mind game. If he play mind game, he must report it. So it's going to be a deterrent to others who might want to do it in order to have a publicity, which is wrong.
Okay, good luck to RFI, and of course I want to believe that the DSS is on top of the matter. Let's talk about another island.
That is why it was picked up.
Really was released by the EFCC,
yes.
It was picked up by the DSS. But then what do you make of it, the protesters who went there? Initially on Monday when it was picked up by the EFCC, he was actually invited for questioning. There were some persons outside of the EFCC office in Abuja, chanting, protesting that you cannot do anything to RFI, things like that.
I think he wanted to. It is normal for those who loves him to go and protest and try as much as possible to impede, even if he's going to be arrested.
Okay.
So now, I think he follow one pastor, probably Apostle Sulaiman, when he was saying some things in Liberty during the time of Buhari. Okay. When he went there, he was released because a lot of people went with him. But now it is different ball games. People that are supposed to be whether in NSA office, DSS office, or AFC's office, they have learned from that kind of mistake. There will be a place all of you are going to stand, and they are going to create a barrier not to have a kind of rowdy session. Sorry, and this is what happened. A lot of people who are popular are benefited from that, but now I think they have changed the tactics.
Okay, let's cross over to Nigerian Tribune and talk about this headline. What is going on in Ondo State? 2 killed during Ondo APC World Congress. I'm taking this headline from Nigerian Tribune. When I read this story, I learned that 2 persons died. Many were injured. As a matter of fact, the younger brother of the National Party chairman in Ondo State, that's Raphael Adetime, was injured. What is going on in that? This is not the first time that we are seeing issues around, Ondo APC. There was a time that, a popular politician was kidnapped for days before he was, eventually released. What is going on?
For you to know that the way we took the politics is different from each other. It is a territorial thing. It's about it's a local thing. The way some people pay local, their life depend on it, and they believe if they are going to be cheated out, they are not going to. You know, when we are talking about the Ondo, the Ekiti, and the Ijesha, I've heard about a kind of lag here Ijesha, here Lagidi, and those people have the same trait. And when they don't want some things, now we heard about Ondo State. We have not heard about what is going to happen in other community or in other territory as well, in other state. So it is so sad. It is something that we must know how we are going to be able to take ourselves as brothers and sisters. This is not do or die affair. What happened in Ondo State is condemnable. It is wrong and it's not acceptable to the society and APC as well. And the police must be able to find out, investigate it, and make sure they arrest the culprit. Okay, do you think the governor of the state, has the capacity to tackle what happened in those states, or maybe he should involve the national leader now? The national leader cannot just come and do what they did in Ondo State. Okay. It is local. They must be able to settle within themselves. But we know Aye Datiwa that he is not being accepted within a lot of APC members. But I think they must accept what is going on right now. And a lot of and in Ondo State territory is different from any other territory. Why? Like Ondo State. I don't know, because you can see that when the former late governor was there, he faced a lot of stiff opposition. He has to beg them before he can be given second term. Despite the fact that he was the governor of the state, others came in full force and they make sure that they are going to gang up against him. He has to plead and beg. And even from within his own party? Within his own party, as the leader of the party. For you to know that when you are talking about politics, politics is not cheap. And when you are talking about this electoral act, it is good for the people. When a governor of a state is not going to be doing like an emperor, it is not right. We must be able to register and vote when you are talking about the primary. What happened in Ondo, you are going to see the repeated one. What happened in Ondo State during the time of late Governor Akiti? Those people came and they gang up and they want to dethrone him. He has to beg before he can be re-elected or reselected or re-elected, or they did primary and he was given a chance. The direct election that President Tinubu signed, it is going to be the best for us right now. And for the Labour Party, for the obedient as well, they must, if they know that they are capable, they must spread within the state and make sure that whoever is going to emerge in ADC should be Obi, instead of them looking for very easy way out. This is not about easy way out. It's the best that will happen to this country, and I love it, and I'm very delighted. Okay, good luck to the political parties now that we have direct primaries. Every party member has the capacity to vote. It's the best that happened to Nigeria. It's the best, I'm telling you. Okay, I think it's a fine place to leave it this morning. A big thanks to you, Honorable Molaja Olao, the commentator on national issues, and of course a big thanks to the audience as well. We need to take a short break, and when we come back, we move on to big story. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. Please stay with us.
good morning and welcome to the big story. As Nigeria inches closer to 2027 general elections, political calculations are already reshaping the landscape. From strategic alignment to grassroots mobilization, the All Progressives Congress appears to be setting the tone quite early, reorganizing structures, cutting new alliances, and consolidating influence across key states. But the big question remains, is this early mobilization a calculated masterstroke designed to outmaneuver the opposition? Or does it signal anxiety within the ruling party? So today on the big story, we examine the strategy, the signals, and the stakes in what many have described as a high-stakes game of political chess. And joining us is Honorable Faisal Oluwakemi, a seasoned broadcast journalist and a politician. He is one of the APC Ibadan Southwest Oyo State House of Assembly hopefuls. He brings both media insight and frontline political experience to this critical conversation. Now, a quick look at the political dynamics. Politics, like chess, is a game of anticipation. The player who moves early often shapes the direction of the board. Across Nigeria, conversations about 2027 are no longer whispers. There are strategic dialogues happening in party secretariats, town hall meetings, and policy circles. The APC's early groundwork, ranging from internal restructuring to coalition building, has sparked nationwide debate. Supporters describe it as strategic foresight. Critics call it permutations and premature campaigning. Is the ruling party protecting its dominance or responding to perceived vulnerabilities? What does this mean for opposition parties, voter sentiment, and the broader democratic space? With Honorable Faisal Oluwakemi, we dissect whether this is calculated political intelligence or a subtle desperation masked as preparation. Good morning once again. Thank you for joining us. Honorable Faisal Oluwakemi.
Good morning, and I'm happy to be here. It's nice to be here this morning.
Good to have you on this show.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about the APC. We have seen alliances, permutations, combinations, restructuring, and bridge building across party lines in Oyo State, and of course at the federal level. Some have said, critics have said, this is like the APC going to a knife battle, guns blazing. So what does this mean for the party as we speak?
All right, I'll just speak it from this angle, like the popular saying, what is worth doing is worth doing well. If you fail to prepare, you are already preparing to fail. What APC, the All Progressive Party, is doing nationally, from what level down to top, is solid preparation, serious preparation, to let people know that we are not joking. We are getting ourselves prepared irrespective of whatever challenges. So what is worth doing is worth doing well.
Okay, compared to past elections, is APC more prepared right now? Is it a deliberate attempt to make sure that they leave no stone unturned ahead of 2027?
You see, every election cycle comes with different dynamics.
Peculiarities.
Yes, peculiarities, yeah. So you can't compare the election of 2011, the one of 2015, the one of 2019, the one of 2023. So they are all different with different peculiarities. Now, this is 2027. The masses, the populace are more enlightened, and so doing, different gladiators, stakeholders are coming on board with different things, so to say. So I would just see it as 2027 election. You know, even before, ahead of 2027 election, let's say from 2025. We've been seeing a lot of alignment from different political parties and all that. But APC is standing firm, like irrespective of who is leaving or who is coming. Irrespective of that, we are going to harmonize our home. We are going to tick all boxes, making sure that all preparation towards the 2027 election is well checked. You know, I will always still come back to that word. What is what doing? Is what doing well.
Okay, judging by what is going on within the APC, as local government congresses are being done, some people are being elected into elective positions within the APC, and also to know that online registration, party members' online registration is also going on. And according to reports, APC now has over 10 million card-carrying members, registered voters. Exactly. Those are people who had access to internet and deregistered. How about people who are still out there? Does it mean that APC now have a projection of what the election will look like in 2027?
Okay, you know, All Progressive Congress, APC as a party, is a party with people of strategy. You know, APC is being strategic in every aspect. Okay, let's have our calculation. Okay, if you have so number of party members, definitely they will surely vote for their party, irrespective of the location, card or candidate. Yeah, they will vote for the party. Okay, let's now assume we have a party members of this figure that are committed to winning the election. Okay, plus another figure of Nigerians who are not core politicians. So they are just voting, maybe they'll be voting based on, okay, conviction from the candidate or the party, add it up. So it's like a projection. You know, if you are planning, you should be able to have a futuristic, you should have foresight, okay, with this and this, I should be able to achieve this. Using this, doing this, I should be able to achieve this. So let me now pick it up from the party membership registration. You know, APC as an organized political party, we are making sure that every member, you can't just be a member by mouth. You should be a member by registration. And identify yourself. Thank you very much. So, and one of the benefits of being a political party member, it has a lot of benefits anyway. You know, you have the right to vote, right to be voted for, to contest, you know, and be part of decision making. And even if there are some benefits coming from party stakeholders, if you are not a card-carrying member, you can't say you want to benefit. So all these things are what, you know, prompted the a party membership. We should know who is APC member by card, not by mouth.
All right, this takes us to the new electoral act signed under 24 hours by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And there's a particular clause that indicates that instead of the usual delegates voting for candidates in the primary elections, it is now open primaries. And every member of the party has the right to vote for their candidate, especially at the primary level. Yeah. What does this say for the aspirants in the party?
Okay, in the electoral...
Does it make primary elections more expensive now?
Well, in my own opinion, you know, there are two options. You know, the consensus, the direct primary. So, the direct primary, it's just every aspirant will come, you know, the party members, they'll vote for their preferred candidate. To me, it gives a fair play, in my own opinion. It's now left to aspirants how they are able to mobilize support for themselves. Do you get my point? So, take for example now, I am an aspirant, so how am I able to get people from this ward to this ward?
To believe in
my plans, in my vision, in what I have for them to represent them. So it won't be like somebody now comes now to do some imposition or somebody. To me, it's a fair play, but it's more consuming. You know, some logistics, you know, compared to delegates. You know, delegate, I can just say, okay, 5 delegates per ward. You know, let's say in my constituency now we have 6 wards. If 5 delegates come from each ward, that means 30 delegates will be voting to pick a candidate. So I just think it's a good thing, but it now depends on how every aspirant are able to mobilize support for themselves. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Oyo State APC.
Okay.
And the APC lost power in Oyo State to the PDP. And ever since, it has been 2 back-to-back elections lost by the APC. And that is not away from the fact that some bigwigs in the party either worked against the party or left the party for another political party. We can cite the example of the current Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, who left the APC for the Accord Party at a point. And we have seen what that actually meant for the party, dividing the votes, and then, of course, the APC eventually lost. And what we have seen as a signal now is that they have both been seen together on so many occasions, building bridges, trying to... the main question is, some people are saying in some quarters that it's just a cosmetic approach, that eventually when it is time to pick a candidate, they will both show interest, and that might further tear the party across party lines. What will happen in 2027? Do we now have an APC where there's a one house, or we might still likely have a repeat of what we have seen, what we saw in 2023 and of course in 2019?
All right, I can assure you that Oyo State APC has harmonized every faction, wherever you belong to, because one of the key assignment that the leadership of the Oyo State APC and the national leadership of APC achieve is that, okay, everything that played out in 2023, we all experienced the consequence, and we don't want that to happen again. Whoever going or whoever left the party, let them come back. Let's settle all the misunderstanding or anything that could have caused the break. Now, if there is a crack in the wall, it will allow external body to invade. Yoruba will say, "Ogito giro balanu alangba ole kosi." So the crack is what the APC or your state is trying to mend. They have even mended. We are trying to even solidify it more. So every faction now in the APC come together. Every member of Oyo State APC are focusing on one thing: victory. And we are after getting the victory, then we can now share power. So victory is the main thing we are looking forward to. And every member of the party, from the state level to the world level, is a stakeholder. Nobody is useless. Everybody is a stakeholder. Either Oloye Teslim Folari, Oloye Bayo Adelabu, everybody. So coming together now, the way you've been seeing everybody together, functions, event, party, it's the reality. Because we win together. We win together. We journey together. Winning together for Oyo State APC, being together for Oyo State APC is the winning together. So to tell you that everything you are saying, it's on the same page.
Let's talk about Faisal Oluwakemi.
Okay.
As a seasoned broadcast journalist, and of course, as someone who chose health as an area of strength, what brought you to politics?
Thank you very much. As a grassroots developer who is passionate about communities' well-being and grassroots wellness, I realized that as a journalist, we do the talking more. We talk, we advocate, government should do this, stakeholders should do that. But at the end of the day, we realize that most of all the talkings, most of all the calls to actions, it's just there. It's not a bad thing if we are doing the calling, that we've seen where these people, our people, suffer, we'll be able to do the voicing than any other person. Just like our profession, the first to get the news, we tell the story better. The first to experience the pain that people are passing through, we know what to do better. So what brings me to politics is that I want to make my impact to be well known and well seen. I've been doing a lot of things in the grassroots, annual lecture, free medical screening, youth engagement, personally, self-funded. But I realized that if I can amplify it more, to be a voice for my community, to represent my community at Well Matters, it will go a long way to make that dream of having a developed grassroots comes to reality. So that is one of the things that, brings me to politics.
Before we go deeper, are we seeing a new wave of broadcast journalists taking politics head-on? We have seen Wide Akitayo, Lumoka, who happens to be someone close to you anyway. I'm still coming back to a question. And we have seen Dr. Riyomi Amzat also saying, look, it is time for me to do this full time. Yes. You too, and so many other people who have actually, chosen politics as the right way to go. Yeah. Is it out of the fact that, you have seen it all? You have monitored elections. You have been in close contact with people. You have organized symposiums. You have organized medical outreach, and you know exactly what these people need. So is it out of all those reasons, or because you feel like it is time for me to face the next chapter of my life?
No, it's out of all those things you mentioned earlier. We've seen it all. I personally have covered elections. I've covered, community reports. I've been to my constituency especially. I've lived there. I used to go there. In fact, I was there yesterday. Almost every day I visit there, go to places. I've seen things with my eye, myself. If you want to represent people, you have to first of all know people you are representing. Know about them. You have to first of all know what they need. You have to first of all know how you can channel those things to them. So it's because me personally, which I believe the same thing applies to other colleagues who are broadcast journalists, we are the fourth estate of the realm.
Right.
So, and we are the closest to this community, to these people. And if I'm closer to you, I'll be the one to know what you need more. Unlike people who are far away. So for me to be closer to you, I will feel what you are feeling, because we see almost every day, we relate together, I know what you need, I know when you are hungry, I know when you are angry. These reasons and more are what prompted me personally and some other colleagues
to do active politics.
To do active
so
politics.
As a broadcast journalist, as a member of the APC, an aspirant for your State House of Assembly, how are you aligning your own personal goals with the broader vision of the political party?
Okay.
Is there a place where they are aligned, or you have your own strategy, but the party's strategy happens to be a little bit different from yours?
Okay. Every serious politician, aspirant, should have an ideology, should have a strategy. Okay, for example now...
Are you a progressive?
Yes.
And you're a member of a progressive party?
Exactly.
It aligns?
Yes.
All right.
So, progressive thinking and progressive mindset should align with the progressive party. And as a progressive, we believe in development. We believe in growth. I have my strategy. And where I'm coming from is, my own strategy for my constituency will be different from someone who is coming from constituency 2, the constituency of the elite. My own constituency is the constituency of the grassroots people to the core. Do you get the point? So the alignment there is, the goal is growth, progress. But how are we going to bring the growth and progress differs from different constituency and different community. So just to answer your question, it aligns. Okay,
so how does early declaration help a candidate? Does it strengthen your credibility or expose you to unnecessary political battles?
Well, declaration, as a journalist and as a communication strategist, there are ways that you will you position yourself you let people have the clue of this is coming, this is coming. So one of the things that I can say, not that I even declare very early. In fact, there are some people that have been doing that declaration even before now, but I was being strategic in, telling a story of where I'm coming from. Telling a story of where I'm coming from, and when it was time for me to let people know, because as a broadcaster and a journalist, if you didn't, unveil yourself early enough, people will be thinking that you are partisan. So for me for people not to be seeing me as a partisan journalist, I had to just unveil myself. Okay, I'm not into politics, so some aspect of journalism, newscasting, this, right, I have to drop it. So when I made that declaration that I have this intention to do this, it came as a threat to some people. Journalists again, do you get a point? So, but as a journalist who understand human behavior, you know how to work your way around it such that you won't affect your credibility, you won't affect the way people perceive you, and you won't look for necessary battle for yourself. But I know that declaration, it has caused something between people.
I was about to ask you this question, but you just mentioned
okay.
it, that since declaration, what sacrifices have you had to make?
A lot of sacrifice, a lot.
Including dropping newscasting.
Yeah. But I still do my programs. I run my shows, I run my ed shows, I run my entertainment shows. Because, you see, newscasting, we all know, we're all professionals. Right. So, I can't say I'm a member of APC now, and I'm now casting news. There will be this emotion attached to some stories. Even if you are professional to the core, okay, I'm a professional to the core, I want to read this story as it is. There will still be some people out there, story. Is that how we're supposed to read that story? Because the member of the APC. Even when you are being professional with the story, do you get the point?
Reactions will come always unbiased.
Exactly. So, not to allow that happen, let's drop it. So, I'm a broadcaster. Let me face my program content. I run my ed show, run my entertainment program, and it is, it's going on well. So that is one of the, sacrifice professionally. But there's some other sacrifices, which is normal thing. Time, meeting upon meeting, strategizing, meeting people, going to communities, trying to sell your idea to people, convince people to see the vision you are seeing. That is one of the great challenge, that if you are a people-focused or people-centered politician, that what you need is just people's development, people's growth. It takes a long way for you to convince people to buy into your idea, because the system itself, it's rotten. People like us that are just coming, we just have to convince people that they say politics is dirty. That was one of the things someone told me. You want to go into politics, that dirty game? I said, I'm going there with sanitizer.
Interesting.
So, to tell you that you don't need to be discouraged. So, all those challenges are there, but as a journalist, we are born with that.
All right,
strong heart.
first of all, politics is expensive.
Yeah.
How do you plan to fund your elections? We have seen strategies being used by some people. We have seen GoFundMe. We have seen someone somewhere bankrolling elections. What's your strategy?
Well, I have a lot of strategies. And many strategies. I can count them, but I won't mention them. So one of the strategies is that if you have an idea, sell the idea to people of like mind, to key into the idea. When people of like mind key into the idea, they will see the beauty in what you're doing, and they will do everything possible to support you. That is one of my strongest strategies. Yeah.
So, going forward, The election is almost here. What are the steps you are taking? And how strong do you think your ties with your base is as we speak?
Okay. My people in Ibadan Southwest constituency, my good people, they know who is who. They know quality. They know someone who is capable. They know someone who is sellable, someone who is marketable. In my capacity, I've been able to, I always relate with my people in my constituency in any way. My ward, from Ward 3, go to, making myself available to people, relating with them, not just when election comes. I tell people that I might look like get inside guy, but
the street is there.
Street grassroots ni mi o mo fojú jọ but ni o. So my people loves me so much. Many people, they've been hearing my name on radio, and many people have even benefited from some of my community project, my free medical screening, even before thinking of going into politics. And people like that, I was like, wow, someone with this initiative now thinking of representing our constituency. No, we are in with you. But there is no how there won't be people that will also be interested in other aspirants. But I can assure you that I have support, huge support from my
You'll be contesting against a sitting member of the Oyo State House of Assembly who belongs in the other party anyway.
Okay.
And Wolf's father also has called for followership in the entertainment industry. So how prepared are you to weather the storm?
And the question is the so-called person contesting again?
That would be a question to be answered by his political party.
Whatever happens, you see, street credibility differs. Some could say, I don't want to use this popular trending slang. We will use kinikon to wo kinikon.
Just like the wife, the former First Lady of Oyo State also echoed that sentiment recently.
But the thing is, one needs to be strategic. People are aware. People know who is performing. Let's ask ourselves this question. This person that is there now, what has been his achievement in education, youth development, health, community development? So all those things are what we need to ask ourselves. So if somebody who is now coming as an aspirant, which I believe I'm going to be the candidate of APC by God's grace, I tell people I'm very, very prepared. I'm not the kind of person that will just say, let's wait till we get ticket before we think of what we do for people. I already have my blueprint. I know what I'm going to do for my people and how I'm going to do it. Because I've already carried out my assessment, my baseline assessment of my community, what my community needs in different pillar of my focus. In health, in education, in youth capacity and development, in infrastructure, in market and women development and all that. What and how. So if we can now ask this kind of person, okay, let's have your scorecard and let's assess it. That means it's not even an headache saying that you are somebody that is underperforming will now be a threat. No, it's not.
Okay, just before we go on this show this morning, what would you say to your constituents in 30 seconds?
Okay, my constituents, I just want to assure them that that His goodness is ours forever, because Faisal is coming for positive impact.
All right, Faisal Oluwakemi, thank you for joining me on this show this morning.
I appreciate it.
It's been a wonderful session with you.
Same here.
We do hope to bring you back on a long stretch where we get to talk about politics and governance in Oyo State, and not really at federal level. Oyo State. Let's talk about Oyo State. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right. The road to 2027 may still seem distant, but in politics, timing is everything. The APC's early moves have undeniably altered the tempo of national political discourse. Whether history will judge these steps as visionary strategy or political overreach remains to be seen. What is certain, however, is that the chessboard has been set and the game has begun. Thank you, Honorable Faisal Oluwakemi, for your insights and on today's edition of The Big Story. Samson Balogun is my name, and until next time on this same segment of the show, keep staying informed, stay engaged, and remember, democracy works better when the people are watching. Up next is Trend Watch. We'll be back.
Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. It's time for Trend Watch, and of course we have something important to discuss. I'm back on set with Samson Balogun this morning. Well done.
Thank you. Good to be back here with you to talk about trends.
Okay. So what we have this morning is saying DSS arrests former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir Rufai, shortly after his release from the EFCC. So it was like from
fry pan to fire.
Exactly. I don't know how you were able to read my mind. So immediately they released him.
It was obvious. It was obvious that was going to happen. It was obvious that look at the issue of Malamitu. It was released in court, and immediately after, someone said, "Look, your attention is needed at so place." And obviously, this case is not really just about INEC. Talking about EFCC alone. The most important thing that they want to trash out with Malam Nasir Rufai at this time is the fact that it mentioned on national TV that someone tapped the phone of the National Security Advisor, who is the highest security person in this country, regardless of, yes, the president is the chief security officer, but when you talk about someone who has been saddled with the responsibility of overseeing security affairs in the country, I mean, the NSA is number one. And if you say, oh, we tapped his phone to know who was going to be arrested and that, it means that Nigeria is exposed. And of course, security threats are and there. If you have done it, it means that there are so many other people who have access to information that you also have access to. And that might set the country on fire if care is not taken.
Really, no, it's not even something to do, because some persons are saying he's just playing mind games. I mean, there was no how, you could have listened to the conversation of the NSA. While some are saying it is possible, never say never. I mean, there are things that we've heard in this country that you think is not even possible. So at the end of the day, but then there's one thing that people are saying. They're saying El-Rufai should find a way to sort whatever it is that is going on, between himself and, of course, the APC, because at the time he sold APC to Nigerians, he campaigned for, this current administration, and this current administration won. So at the end of the day, if they are not, in good terms, he should not complain, because at the end of the day, he ate from the same table, with these people. So it's really up to him, and of course, it's up to the security operatives to determine the punishment that will be read out to him, because he came out to affirm this himself, whether he played mind games or not. And of course, we'll take comments this morning. Let's see what Nigerians are saying about this particular situation. We have quite a number of comments to take this morning.
Okay, talking about comments, I think, okay, someone said from EFCC to DSS, what's going on? It's a very big question, actually.
Yeah, and Flex is saying, but these one security agencies no just get coordination now. Wow. Which one be EFCC release and DSS rearrested? So it get crime where El-Rufai commit way before EFCC, and it gets the one way before DSS. Them no fit centralized arrest. Which kind of funny country be this? I mean, this is not the first time that this is happening.
Actually, it's not done that way. I mean, you're answerable to whoever is looking for you. So
definitely,
it cannot be centralized. So if that's the question you're asking.
The police might ask to, they might invite him,
right.
We want to question you. And of course, Scorpio AI is saying, why did the FCC release him so fast? I think they are trying to divert away the attention from the public outcry.
Well, I don't think so. There is a limit to how long you can hold a person in custody, especially when it's still about investigation. It has not been convicted of any crime.
Strong evidence.
Of course, there's no evidence that says, oh, it can be held, in custody for a particular stretch of time. So, the FCC are just trying to be on the safer side. And most importantly, we have seen situations where, about 16, 17, 20, 50 count charges against one person, and eventually it is struck out to maybe 2 or 3.
Look at Shure. Look at the number of charges against him. But for El-Rufai now, I think we just have 3 count charges against him.
Yeah, that's the advice some people, especially for specialists, they have given to FCC. There's no point looking for 30 or 40 counts. I mean, why not 3 that will stick? Why not 4 that will stick, or maybe even 1 that will stick, and you know that you have successfully prosecuted this person. So under those, you can now have some commas and full stops and say, look, he also did this and did that. But the most important thing is, why waste time in court when you could easily go straight to the point and then just nail this person and put them in jail if it's necessary?
Definitely. Now, speaking of El-Rufai now, I read the count charges. I think the first one has to do with the fact that El-Rufai, under the Nigerian constitution, is not supposed to listen to the conversation of any Nigerian, not even the NSA now. He's more dire because it's the NSA. And then the second one is that, the person that tapped his phone must be found. Because, I mean...
Take for example, if there is an issue and then your phone conversations are needed, you have to go to court. And you get a court injunction that says you take this to ISPs or network providers to give you the phone conversation from so time to so time. So you can't just walk into the network service providers and say, look, I want my conversation from this time to this time. It's not. You have to get a court judgment that says you can get it. How much more of the National Security Advisor? I mean, that's, for me...
It speaks a lot in the system.
I mean, it says a lot about... I mean, for someone like Malam Nasir, who is supposed to know better, to have made that statement on national TV, I mean, let him just face the music right now. and explain to the government why some things happened. And if it did not happen, why did you say it happened? Because that alone also has consequences.
Definitely, definitely.
And it's a fine place to leave it on this show this morning. So thank you for joining us on this show so far. Do also link up with us again tomorrow, and that is Daybreak Live Extra, the Owambe edition, where you get to see your favorite host in the Owambe attires. Right, as I always say, if you see something, say something. And as you go, keep being good, keep being safe out there. Samson Balogun is my name. Bye for now.
All right, just like I mentioned, do well to join us for Daybreak Live Extra tomorrow. We are coming with quite a number of things to discuss. Before I go, I want to tell you that actions, statements have consequences. My name is Oluwayemi Adelako. Good morning.